Good evening, y'all, except I do really hate bugs. The trio are making their trek on foot now that Chaperone Degasu's plane's been hijacked. I mean, it definitely feels like he's chaperoning them with the way Mini Goku and Shin keep pressing him. So, while searching for a vehicle, Goku suggests flight, but this air isn't suitable for that. I anticipated some mid-air flight training, but Supreme Kai ruined that with his logic. But walking does have the benefit of letting us take in the scenery, not just dirting past blurry skylines. But besides the death pit, this place doesn't really have that much to take in. To me, it seemed like a wild, risky place to attempt their first long-distance flight, and that was before we saw what was lurking in the depths. It's not the first time Goku's not been in peak condition, but it's dope to see him just excited to get back into the swing of things. Although, the one who came out swinging was Degasu. Initially, I had thought Degasu was an assassin-like hit, but he really only has that serious vibe when he's brawling. I'd say he's more like Jacko, but actually plot relevant. Of course, those good moves earn Sone's respect, and also earn a backhanded compliment. Definitely, I like Snarky Kai more as a kid. He's better as a sassy child than a wimpy adult, in my opinion. They continue on, and Goku ends up hungry, which was really surprising to me since that doesn't happen all that often. Outside of this series, the hungry boy trope has been done so to death that I would almost be tired of it here, but you know, it's quintessential to Goku, so by all means. And we can say his senses are still keen as ever. His mind's sharp, but his body's heavy. These disposable grunts were at least good warm-ups. Also, it inspires Goku to teach Degasu about Ki, which he learned back when he was small. That's neat. They wind up at a shop that puts the artisanal cafes near me to shame while honoring Dr. Slump. They receive some first-rate service, and man, Goku is indiscriminate. Literally looks like a liver popped out. He even gets to wash it down with some eyeball juice because it's the demon world, so we couldn't just have grilled cheese. One of the few edible items I've seen him dislike since carrots. The moment of stifled laughter was pretty cute too. Later, Degasu ends up digging around for a vehicle and we get a couple reveals. And a couple reveal. This boisterous and self-assured duo have so much personality for side characters. Just really appreciate Dragon Ball's ability to give these characters tons of personality. And we need them to give Degasu a ride, which is shaping up to be a Sky Seed. They will sell it to him for 8,000 Dukaro, which I only wonder what that translates to in Zenny. Degasu seems to be a really good haggler, and this time he didn't need a pistol for it. Can I say it also feels like these two are genuinely being written as kids. Like their nosy little hands getting in places they don't belong. Just their curiosity to all the new and nasty things around them. All the medicinals, herbs, and other cosmetics present. Including this join bug, which we can add to the list of fusion dance, Patarda, Namekian assimilation, you know. I'm calling that this will absolutely be used with Goku and Vegeta. That'd be a sick callback. You could guess Shin and Goku, but I doubt that since I think Goku stated that ideally there's some phenotypical similarity for a peak fusion. Goku do be knowledgeable, but he doesn't know the name of the dude he's asking for money? Still better than the Pan fiasco. I also think this is the first time we've seen Goku with a video game-esque bag of items. Later, Beardo guides them to their departure, and it's a straight-up spectacle. With a lack of a social skills focused upbringing, Goku's really into it too. Nothing could have prepared me for this dog, for what this contraption is, or how it functions. I wasn't sure if it actually did fly, or if they just chuck it Tao Pai Pai style. Turns out this speedy seed ship's closer to the Pai Pai side. Their crash landing's hype, accentuated by an upbeat, festive instrumental of Jaka-Jan, much like Makufushigi Adventure and Chalagat. I actually don't think that impact would have affected Goku much, but hey, good for dramatic effect. So, on the way, Degasu lets us know that the Demon World Dragon Balls are considered the originals. To me, that means they're probably the most powerful, maybe more wishes, less recharge time, and higher kill potential than old Shinra. He explains each Demon World has its own ball, and to standard they need to be gathered all together to make a wish. They really are just out in the open too. It's like the Tamagami are baiting people to fight. It reads like an open invitation to any challenger who wants a strong opponent. Kinda love how Goku doesn't want the balls for any particular wish, he just wants to throw hands. I assume he could be the first to gather them, but the lack of motivation, the abducted Dende, and the obviousness of it makes me think that won't be the case. My prediction that that's going to go to either Dr. Arenzu or a character we're about to meet. I don't know, to me it feels like there's some subtle Goku selfishness or eagerness, depending on how you feel, for him to want to do that before rescuing Dende. To be fair, he has decent reasoning, maybe they can return to normal, but for him, I do think that's secondary. Also adore Nozawa's enthusiasm. I feel like I can see her face as she reads and gargles through her lines. Inside town, I'ma butcher this, but the gendarmerie, the king's military, make Degasu freeze up. Goma's been king for about a week or less and is already headed for dictatorship. Wow. I will say initially I thought it was cliche, the whole pay up or you die technique. There is quite a bit of creative cruelty though with the choke collars they're forced to put on. Taking a page from Brawly's book I see. They get forced to hand over their peasant pennies, but there's a few who can't make the cut. One of them gets made an example of. If I lose 3 years from your life, I thought that the victims would just get like an ominous door knock at like age 60 or something. In reality, they literally can suck the life out of you. And didn't Goma actually tell Neba that he would extend his life by 1,000 years, so maybe this is part of it. Due to some bad line localizations, people tend to underestimate Goku's heroic attributes. I get it, but it's definitely there. He has no reason to help these guys, he just wants to because the gender people suck. They're pretty despicable, picking on the poor, the old, and even a child? A child, or a very small person with some tricks up their sleeve. Such a swift juxtaposition from the elder abuse to this comedic chase scene though. That's not to say they aren't taking it seriously, especially Goku, who I think just doesn't like to see weak people being taken advantage of. The lack of Kai Blast, the lack of flight, instead relying on martial arts just feels very intentional. It is also doing this series justice. I hear, what amazing fight choreography, way more than I hear, what amazing laser beams. Of course, in this house, there is room for both. Base form Goku doing this also allows us to gradually build momentum when it is transformation or fusion time. Right now, fists is all our boy needs. The fugitives manage to get away, but before long are confronted by the chick from before, whoever this is. Top tier Dragon Ball episode. I expected of course to explore the demon realm, but less so its inhabitants. We even get to make small connections with the civilians to feel their plight for when Goma inevitably creates more strife for them. To top it all off, we meet a character who's clearly against this regime. She resembles the Supreme Kais, and pointed ears mean demon, so that's my bet. Notably, in this episode we got background on the Dragon Ball, so I bet that'll factor into her rebellion. One that could just be an opposition to this dictatorship. Either way, I am psyched to find out more. Feel like I gotta give this one an A.